Oftentimes we associate rattlesnakes with the southern part of Arizona, but rattlesnakes live in the mountains too. However, with new developments and buildings, where does it leave the wildlife to go? Reporter Colleen Sikora spoke with one researcher who has dedicated the last 20 years to finding out how to safely relocate rattlesnakes and Gila monsters.
Housing developments, buildings, and new businesses, all things that lead to the destruction of natural habitats for our wildlife, which had Dr. Erika Nowak and her colleagues, Dr. Brian Sullivan and Dr. Matthew Kwiatkowski, curious as to what happens when Gila monsters and rattlesnakes are moved from their natural habitats.
I ended up doing a translocation study where I moved the rattlesnakes outside of the park. I moved them twice as far as they had normally traveled, and then I followed them to see what they would do.
Dr. Nowak and her colleagues used radio transmitters surgically implanted in the snakes and Gila monsters to track the animals' movements. What she found was shocking.
One of the things that happened is they all spent a lot of time trying to come back to where they had been moved from.
And a sad fact of that journey is that over half of the rattlesnakes and Gila monsters died while trying to get back to their original location.
So this idea that if you have a snake or a Gila monster in your backyard, and you can just simply move it out of the way and it'll be fine, we found out that that's not true.
But rather, Dr. Nowak and her colleagues suggest other options to consider when needing to relocate snakes and Gila monsters.
Consider where to move the animals that's most like where they came from. What kind of habitat mimics as much as you can where they came from. So one thing that you could consider is trying to move family groups of animals. Or if you don't know if they're family groups, try to move related groups of animals.
So what do you do if you find a rattlesnake in your backyard? It's best to call the Arizona Game and Fish Department to have the animal safely removed. Colleen Sikora, NAZ Today.